Hello, we're going to start a leg series. So we're going to start in parallel, or turned out first position. Weight on the balls of the feet. We're just going to take some plie. So we're going to get deep into the Achilles and stretch it back. Making sure we're keeping our weight on the balls of the feet, nice and flat and relaxed on the floor of those toes. And just plie and squeeze. I'm thinking about my posture as well. My ribs are in, my lower back is strong, and my shoulders are open with my collarbones. 2 more. And 1 more. Taking it open to a second position, arms are going to come out at the side as well. And we just take a grand plie and then an elevate. A grand plie into your elevate. Lift those heels. As we're coming down from the elevate, make sure we're controlling through the feet and using all the muscles in the ankles and feet. Nice and deep up and down. 2 more. 1 more. Keeping that next second position, we're going to lunge from side to side. And as I'm doing that, I'm going to keep my hips as level as I can. So as I'm pushing from side to side, the carriage of my hips is staying level. I don't want to tip into it. I want a nice little crease there from side to side. I'm taking my time so that I'm having to support myself with the underside of my thighs. Let's do 1 more set. Side to side. Coming into 4th position, we're going to take ourselves on a slight diagonal. So I feel that rotation within the hip socket, pulling a little bit with those shoulders. And I'm going to step off the front foot and lunge forward, extending my arms, push off and bring it back. Brush off, push, and through. As I'm opening my leg, my knee wants to make sure it's going open to the side, so that's bending over my toes. Keep that diagonal, shift off the leg, push off to the back. Just a little push, just a little. 1 more. And then we're going to try it on the other side. So we're going to switch legs, rotate the hips and shoulders, brush off, catch yourself into those knees, and that knee, catch yourself, control it into the floor. As I'm lengthening my arms, I don't want to lift too high, but try to support from underneath the armpits and the ribs. 2 more. 1 more. Good. Now we're going to take ourselves to the floor and give our hips a stretch. So we're going to bring the bottom of the feet together, sitting up tall, and just round the lower back a bit. And bring it up to the sit bones. So we're getting that lower back to extend and open behind me. And up nice and tall. 2 more. Extend. Round and open flat. 1 more. And round. And open flat. I want you to bring one leg on top of the other and try to line up the knees. So we feel that both sit bones can sit down in the back. And I'm just trying to imagine in my head letting go of those tight muscles within my tush and my hips. Rotating towards that top leg. You're going to just push against it so you feel that deeper stretch into the hip. And go ahead and bring your body forward, relaxing your neck and just stretching. My hips are down in the back. Want to let go. And then go ahead and switch legs. Another leg on top, and again I'm going to push that tush down in the back so that I'm nice and flat and secure in how I'm sitting. Letting go, imagining those hips let go. I'm going to rotate to the top leg, twist the back, and then take my body forward. Relax your lower back and neck. Deep breaths help. Just stretching it out. Good. Then we're going to extend both legs directly in front of us. So we're going to start in a parallel place. Knees are up to the ceiling, and I'm sitting tall on my sit bones. I want you to rotate out from the hips and rotate in. So you can rotate in even if you have a little bit more in. So you're inverted just a little bit as you're rotating in. All the way, full range of motion. Go ahead and keep the turnout using your inner thigh and your gut a lot. I want you to lengthen up that inner thigh. Little pulse. Switching legs, so you want to sit tall again, feel your sit bones, and pull up. Maintain that flatness in your back, try not to roll back. Good, just give them a little shake. Keeping the turnout, I'm going to flex the feet this time. Pull the thigh out and open to the side. With energy out your heel, I want you to push from your tummy all the way through to your heel. Again, I'm sitting up tall on my sit bones. Pull that thigh back. Full range of motion. One more. I want you to reach across, grab and stretch that leg. So getting the side of the leg, the IT band, running through. And release, sitting up nice and tall. Pull that thigh up, push the heel away. One more. Reach across, stretch. And release. Go ahead and circle your feet. Just get some blood, making sure it's nice and warm down there in those toes. And the other way. Good. I'm going to scoot to the front edge of my mat so that as I roll back, I have my elbows on the mat as well behind me, trying to get the underneath my shoulders. Then I'm going to flatten my back, so don't let it contract and round and soften through. I want to push against those elbows, try to lengthen and flatten my back. And I'm going to extend my thighs up. I'm going to push them away, pull them back into me. So it's not just the knees, it wants to work from the hips as well. I'm going to push them away. Keep that flat back. One more. Good, relax your feet. We're going to flatten the chest again and turn out into first position or froggy. And extend, same thing. Those thighs come back. Point the toes through. One more. Good, go ahead and sit up and lengthen out your legs, and you can just stretch it forward for a moment. I'm going to take the legs around to one side, so I'm going to do a cookie sit, which means both knees are bent, and my weight is just on one hip mostly. Taking this foot, or this leg here, we're going to tip over the pelvis and back. So we're trying to let go of all the muscles that connect from the hip into the lower back. We meet in the middle. We want to get the back and the hip flexors stretched out here a bit. Back and forth. Good. Then I'm going to take my weight forward onto that front leg and thigh a little bit. So I have a little bit of weight underneath that thigh. Maybe my hands move forward a little bit. That way I'm able to get to a balance point where I can lift this back leg up in that bent position. I'm going to think knee and toe. It's a pretty small movement. We're doing a little clam. Just a little. One more. Good. Then we're going to keep that leg parallel and extend it out. Bend the knee. Oh, it's burning. Might be cramping. Keep breathing through it. We'll stretch here in a second. One more. Go ahead and extend that leg down. You're going to rotate it around and sit on your sit bones. So we now have a turned out leg. And I'm going to stretch it over side. I'm going to come back to that same position. So I'm going to turn my leg parallel, bend the knee, and bring the weight forward onto the front hip and thigh a little bit. Extending that leg parallel again, I want to move it a little bit behind me. Not a lot, but a little bit. I want to still feel like I can support the front side here. And I'm going to try and lengthen that leg up, up, up. I feel it crunchy, the top of my hip as well. Into my back, into my side. One more. Good. Now I'm going to bend it and take my weight all the way over and try to lay down flat on that front thigh. I have weight in my hands as well to help support me. That way I can lift that leg up and I'm going to swing it around, sit on my sit bones, and swing it back. Hook that knee around the front. My arms are swinging in opposition. One more. To the back, and let it sit and rotate around to that side. And then I'm going to start my sequence all on the other side. So I'm going to sit in my cookie sit and then lengthen and stretch the pelvis back and forth. Getting all the way into my lower back. Lengthening it through. I'm going to keep this one forward and bring my weight a little bit forward so that I'm steady on that hip inside. Bringing that thigh up, I'm going to think knee, toe touch. So a little mini clam. Good, keeping that parallel leg, extend the back to the side, bottom of the leg, from the knee. Supporting our underside. Good. Kind of bring that leg down, and as we roll onto it, we're going to roll out that leg and stretch side. And bring yourself back into the cookie set. Bend that knee. Weight again is forward. This time when I lengthen my leg parallel, it's slightly behind me. Weight is forward. I'm going to use that outer thigh to lift it up. Into my side. Go ahead and bend both knees and bring your weight forward over that thigh in the front. A little bit of weight in the hands as well. You're just stretching your hip here for a moment. Then we're going to extend that back knee up and sweep it around. On to both sit bones. Arms circling opposite. Go ahead and drop it in the back and twist around to the back side. And release. Coming around to our long ways on the mat. I want you to take your heels in, hip width apart. Find your ball, the imaginary beach ball, and roll yourself to your lower back. And sit yourself up tall. So this is working the hips as well as the abs. Finding that control of rolling to the lower back really stops and uses those muscles inside the hips. This time we're going to roll all the way back. And relax through, walking the feet up fairly close to your tush and hip width apart. My shoulders are going to relax, and I'm going to just let my bones settle here for a moment before we start bridges. So with my feet firm on the floor, I'm going to start with my belly button imprinting and releasing down into the floor beneath me, my pelvis tucked, and I'm going to continue rolling up through that spine until I can't go any further. At the top, I want you to think about how the weight feels on your feet. It should be fairly equal. You shouldn't be rolling inside or outside edges of the feet. My weight is in my shoulders, centered between my shoulder blades and not in my head. Come on down by starting with the top of your spine and pulling and tucking your ribs under first, trying to keep that pelvis high. That way, one vertebrae at a time can come back through. We're going to do that one more time. So we're going to take a deep breath in. And we're going to roll up, tucking first. Trying to keep your neck relaxed. Lifting as high as you can, holding it. Feeling it on the sides of your legs. Feeling your feet are flat. Your weight is out of your head. Take a breath in. Now use that upper back to start rolling it through. And release the pelvis at the last second. Relax. Once more, we're going to roll up. This time we're going to take a little hip dip. So we're going to tuck and roll, finding the top of the bridge. Then I want you to shift your weight to one foot. Then, circling down, I want you to bring your weight to the other foot. So one hip feels like it's lifting a little higher than the other. And the weight is definitely shifting from foot to foot. You want to be careful of the pressure in your knees, not to go too far. Let's do one more sweep. Side to side, come neutral, and roll through.